Josh, do you consider yourself a security savvy person or a tech savvy person?
I would say I'd be like average. I don't click on any phishing emails and stuff like that.
Security conscience at all?
Yeah, I would say.
Okay. Have you ever thought of using a phone with touch capabilities? Like every single phone
Yeah,
in existence.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, I use one right now.
So if you answered yes, which is pretty much everybody, you are in danger because your fingerprints have potentially been compromised because researchers in the US and China have figured out a way to reconstruct your fingerprints through the sound of your finger going across a touchscreen.
I don't know. How would they do this?
It's a new scary world, and they are using these basically it's automatic fingerprint identification system, which is using the like when you swipe and stuff, it makes a noise.
Oh, okay.
And it's using the sound characteristics, the faint sound of two pickles squeaking together.
What the heck?
Basically, your finger touching the thing makes a unique sound, and they are now able to extract your fingerprint data based on that sound.
Oh, that's pretty wild thinking about it. We are definitely in the future now.
Yeah, future of theft, because this is insane. Because normally it's like, okay, you know, the concept and idea of, you know, getting your fingerprint or bioinformation stolen is less of a like crazy idea when you consider like, oh, you put it into the machine, but other ways to get it is getting to be the crazy part. And we'll continue talking about this in a second after you consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button. We come out with interesting topics like this one daily. So if you like to keep up to date with interesting topics like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So this is affecting a very large swath of people because fingerprint authentication is a huge business. Can you guess how big of a business fingerprint authentication is? I know iPhones don't use it anymore.
No,
they
they
used
don't
to.
use it. They use facial recognition. I don't know how big this would be.
So it's $100 billion market, or estimated to be $100 billion market by 2032. And I'm guessing like right now it's pretty large because in a lot of phones they have fingerprint readers or even laptops, etc. So now this information is being taken through that. And it's kind of wild because now you have to be more conscientious of like what you're doing because people could potentially be stealing your information through just hearing the sound of your fingers like touching something.
Yeah, it doesn't make you feel safe having even using your phone in public.
No, yeah. So the thing is that they are warning against people touching their phone screens while using things like, you know, like Skype or Discord or anything that like
anything that generates a sound. Like,
yeah, anything that would hear you while you're on your phone.
That's pretty wild just to even think about because, you know, so many people use their phones out in public and so many people go and use, yeah, I feel like, yeah, so many people like essentially use their phones in public and now there's a lot more people that are going to be using it for more nefarious uses on collecting this information about you.
Yeah. So the other thing is that like, okay, you know, the more obvious thing would be to go into your phone and then take the information that like the phone has collected on you. But then now there's like other ways, like, so this is one way. So like going to the phone, taking it, or like when it's authenticating it, you would take it. The other way is to see it. So if you shouldn't be showing your fingers online.
Yeah.
So now you're like, so yeah, because people can go and then take the biometric data from the fingerprints through pictures.
Oh, that's...
And then recreate it
That is interesting to think about. I feel
But
like
it makes sense.
you can't be safe anymore using your phone because first the facial recognition,
Yes.
how people could take your information,
Deep fakes.
with your deep fakes, your voices,
Yep.
essentially creating a new person and now taking your fingerprints.
They're basically you at that
Yeah.
point. They have your voice, they have your looks, they have your fingerprints. They have your eyes, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, well, if they have the whole face, yeah.
Yeah. So the crazy thing is that they're using AI and stuff to do this, but I mean, it's not 100%. I will say that. It's they're saying that it's up to 27.9% of a partial fingerprint and 9.3% of complete fingerprints within 5 attempts at the highest security false acceptance rate setting of 0.01%. So meaning that they're getting, I mean, it's almost 10% after 5%. So like these, like, okay, so with the highest scrutiny in terms of like accuracy, they're getting like almost 10% full fingerprints, and they're getting like almost like over 25% partial fingerprints after 5 attempts. So it's that's really good. That's, at first, like, oh, like it's only like 20 over like 27.9. That's not 100%. 9%. I mean, but like it's not zero.
No, it's not 0%, which is the
zero.
wild thing, because it's like you think about a few years ago, you wouldn't have even thought to have your fingerprints stolen through sound, through something like this, something that you use every day.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that my finger was creating such a noise on the device to create a identical sound. Like, how would they get this? I mean, like the data that would be needed to hear or be able to, like generate fingerprints based on the sound. So it'd be like, oh, you hear like an instrument play, and then you recreate the entire instrument. Like, oh, you hear a piano, and it's like, okay, now I can recreate an entire piano.
You think about this. Eventually, it will get so good that it's going to recreate your entire image based on the sound that you're making from your phone itself.
Oh no!
Place you at a certain place at a certain time and be able to find you, and then they'll have that information.
Jesus. So like, I think the crazy thing really for me is that like they're be able to hear the microphones on your phone or on other devices are so precise that they're able to pinpoint the like separate grooves. Like, oh, it needs to be like this type of groove where this, like, it's recreating, like the fact that they could make one complete fingerprint, 10% of complete fingerprints. What?
Yeah, no, it's
How?
crazy that this is even happening.
We thought that like fingerprints were like, oh, he's like, they're all unique, like if it's unique, I mean, like, does that mean you have a unique sound for the fingers going across the thing? How would they know? Like, imagine all the videos, like there's someone, using their phone, or there's someone going and, I wonder if it's like typing. Does it have to be a screen, or does it have to be like a long slide? Like, imagine someone that's typing on a keyboard, like you have all their fingerprints.
Yeah, you do. You think about the use cases on like what they're going to be able to find out, because I would assume that it would help with like catching criminals, or
Oh, that is true. They could be used for that, but I'm just thinking that it's gonna be used by criminals.
Yeah, that's exactly the other thing I was gonna say. On the flip side of it, you could essentially create a fingerprint and have someone be placed at the scene of a crime,
based on a sound.
Based on the sound, yeah.
I wonder what level of fidelity, because like that seems like such a crazy level of fidelity in a sound, because like on YouTube, for those of you who know, or maybe you don't know, on YouTube, when you upload a video, it compresses it down. So like the quality of the video and the audio gets reduced to allow you to get better bandwidth. So it's easier to stream. And effectively the same, like a similar thing will happen in terms of like Skype and other things. Like, how good are these like microphones? And like typically when you're on a call, like like Skype call or something like that, or Team, Zoom, I don't know, the audio is typically not like
It's not the
studio
best.
quality.
Yeah, no, it's not the best.
They hear like it's like a friggin' the tiniest violin, you know, like I don't know, you can how, but these researchers have figured it out. So let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think this is excessive? I mean, this is definitely excessive,
No,
but like
it's definitely excessive.
but like
yeah.
my goodness, like just as fast as like AI has been you know, like scaring us as well, like, oh, you know, it's creating videos, it's, you know, creating images, it's doing all this other stuff. I feel like at the same time, like cyber crime or cyber like technologies that can be used to, I guess, steal your identity have also increased at an alarming rate as well.
Yeah, it has. And like I mentioned, we're going into the future now, and more things like this are going to be coming out.
Yeah, for most seemingly for the worst.
Yeah.
For the worst. But I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments down below.